What's up, Darkseeker? I just watched your one of your videos. It's the Jade Druid one. I was trying to get my baby to go to sleep, and I thought your sultry, soothing voice would lull her to sleep. It was worth a shot. Hey, kitty cat. Darkseeker says hello. That was my impression of you. I practiced that shit, by the way. Hello, everyone. Darkseeker here. Today we're gonna have a look at Druid. What a wonderful deck it is. I'm getting my butt spanked.
The light has betrayed me.
Spot on impression? Thanks. I really did practice that. I was waiting for you to come around again so I could show that to you.
Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video, and a massive thank you to Earwin for what for those great voice impressions. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Take it as a great compliment. And so we're back on Wild Mode, and we're playing Demonlock once again. Now, my last attempt at playing Demonlock was sort of a more mid-range deck, you know, relatively slow at points. This deck is a faster deck. In fact, the early game looks a bit like a Zoolock, and you can see the variety, the selection of 1-drops that are available to us. And as you head into the mid-game, you have the likes of Defender of Argus, you have Darkshire Councilman. And going into the late game, there's Lothair, Mal'Ganis, and Bloodreaver Gul'dan. And the idea with the Void Callers, of course, is to get those Doom Guards out. But even getting a Flame Imp out can be decent, saves you taking 3 damage. Now, point of contention in this deck, Imp Gang Boss. Yes, in the last deck that I played, I took out Imp Gang Boss because it just wasn't good with Bloodreaver Gul'dan. You did not want those 1/1 imps coming back to life. Now, in this particular deck, it comes with Imp Gang Boss, and I disagree with that. But we're going to give it a try, and we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see if it's viable, because if you're going for a zoo-style opening, Imp Gang Boss is actually very, very good. But on that note, if you're determined to be a zoo-style deck, well then maybe you don't play Bloodreaver Gul'dan. So there's some considerations there. We're going to have a think about it as we play a couple of games, and we'll see how viable it is. Prince Keleseth is also in this deck, and this will be my first time playing that card. So we want to give that a try and see how that does for us. So let's start off here against a rogue.
Fury.
Your soul shall be mine.
Okay, so that's a lot of our late/mid game, but I'm going to keep the Void Caller. I think it's worth keeping 1 Void Caller. I know that what we're looking for are 1-drops or a curve, a 1 into a 2 into a 3, but happy there to keep the Void Caller in case we draw a Doom Guard or an Imp Gang Boss, or even a Flame Imp a bit later on. Playing the Void Caller on 4 can be pretty good if you then have a more expensive demon in hand, like the Doom Guard. There it is. Okay, so we play the Prince. Now, that's actually pretty good. Our hand has now been buffed with a +1/+1 effect. Now, that doesn't sound like much. But look, that Doom Guard is now a 6/8. That Void Caller is buffed up. Those extra stats can be significant. They certainly feel more significant when you play the minion on the board. I guess it's just all about perception, right? You're used to seeing those minions in their non-buffed state, and then when they're buffed, well, they just feel much better. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. But anyway, there's a Sylvanas on the board. That's really awkward. And he was very lucky there to get Sylvanas out of Barnes. And that sort of messed up my whole game plan. The plan was to play the Voidcaller to get the Doomguard out. But we've had to play the Imp Gang Boss instead because of Sylvanas. Now, thank God, he only stole the 1/1 Imp. However, there is a Raptor on board with a steel effect on it. Okay, so I guess here we'll play the Voidwalker, and we'll play the non-buffed Voidcaller. And the reasoning behind that is, hopefully, if he's going to steal it, he steals it fine, but it's the non-buffed version. I guess the only problem would be if he manages to kill the Voidcaller, we get a Doomguard out, and then he steals the Doomguard using the Raptor. That would be a problem. Is he going to kill it? Yep, he kills it. And there's the Doomguard. So, in this situation, we need to do everything in our power to stop him from stealing that Doomguard. So we need to go as wide on the board as possible. Unfortunately, we can only play 2 minions here. So I would assume that he'll trade into the Flame Imp. And we just need to hope that he steals the Voidcaller. Now, it's a buffed up Voidcaller, so it's not very good for us if he steals it, but it's better than him stealing the Doomguard. So, okay, sap, sure. So he gets the guaranteed steal on the Doomguard here. We're quite sad now, because he's going to get an attack in as well. 6 to the face. Wow. Feeling really sad here, but I guess that's just a demonstration of how good Sylvanas is, or how good her steal effect is. So, in this situation, I guess we tap, we just look for some answers. That's not an answer. Well, I guess we play the Imp Gang Boss. At the very least, the Imp Gang Boss will contest the Shredder and live. He may throw the Doomguard into it, perhaps. Wow. His board is much bigger than mine, primarily due to the Doomguard that he stole. Can you imagine if we still had that 6/8 Doomguard? Can you imagine the number of trades that we could get with it, or the number of face hits that we could get with it? And our health total now is dangerously low. Maybe I tapped too much. Maybe I shouldn't have been tapping so much. And here I feel I had no choice but to play the Doomguard. The charge effect on the Doomguard helps me clear some minions off of this board, and I think that was more important than the 2 cards that I sacrificed there. Now that's really good for me. Here, in this situation, actually getting the extra imps is good, because it's board presence. And this is where Zulok is incredibly strong at generating a wide board and using those minions to trade and take control of the board. The problem, of course, with this deck is Blood Reaver Gul'dan, summoning these imps back to life, which is really not what you want.
Think.
Wow. He's double trading there. That's actually really good for us.
Our girl's best friend.
And there's Arya. That's bad for us. Well now. Blood Reaver Gul'dan. We can't play him because we don't have the mana. And I think that was a misplay on my part. I should have killed the 2-2. I think I was so fixated on Blood Reaver Gul'dan and the Imp Gang Boss synergy or lack of synergy. So fixated on this. I think I made the wrong trade there. But I don't think it would have mattered anyway. And this board that he's got is just ridiculously threatening, and our health total is ridiculously low. So what can Gul'dan do here for us? What comes back to life? Well, get a Doomguard. And, of course, 2/1/1 Imps, which is why you do not play Imp Gang Boss in this deck. But the Doomguard should be enough to save us. So we have a Taunt in play as well.
A paltry task.
If I trade into Aya, he generates another minion. Is that okay? I mean, it's 5 attack going down to 2 attack. I think that's the way to think about it. A reduction of 3. Yes, that's decent. If I'd killed his 2/3 there, that would have been a reduction of 2 attack. Yeah. So we've taken 1 more attack power off the board by killing Aya. I guess that's a logical way to think about it. So it looks like he can't kill us. He has to get through the taunt and then find enough damage, which would mean he requires spells.
Nice.
And I sort of sense that this game is over. Look at my board. I have an Argent Horse Rider in hand. I have the Warlock hero power that does damage too, yeah. So that was a very, very close game. Strangely, Blood Reaver Gul'dan won us that game. Feels good. Okay. Let's look at one final game, and it's against a Warlock. Now, we have a curve here, a 1 into a 2. Which, if you're playing a zoo-style opening, that's pretty good. In fact, it's excellent. Let's see what he's got on his turn 1. Oh, he's got a Flame Imp. So, here's a question. Is he playing Zoolock? Zoolock is somewhat extinct on the Wild Mode ladder. People just don't play it anymore. People play the more mid-range demon version or the control demon version with Gul'dan. People just don't play Zoolock anymore. But he plays the Flame Imp. Now I play Flame Imp, so maybe he's playing a deck similar to mine with Gul'dan, but more early game. Or maybe he's just a pure Zoolock. And seeing Dark Peddler there would say to me, yeah, maybe he is just a pure Zoolock. Now, here's where Imp Gang Boss really shines. It's a 3/5 body after the buff from the Prince. That's going to get me more trades, potentially, and allow me to kill more things, potentially, because of the increased attack power. But of course, as we saw in the last game, the negative synergy with Blood Reaver Gul'dan, bringing back those imps, is not good. So a bit of a trade-off, I guess. And in theory, the more imps you spawn, the worse it is, because you bring back more 1/1 imps. I'm a big fan of Spellbreaker. Big fan of Spellbreaker. But Defender of Argus there, being quite annoying. In order to get through his wall of taunts, what are we going to have to do? So, Patches as a 2-2 is pretty good here.
Die, mage.
So in order to clear the Wall of Taunts, 3 trades are required on my part. But they're not the 3 worst trades in the world, and look, we still have a board left. In fact, we have 5 minions on the board. We have the advantage. And now all we need is to get a Doomguard in hand, and we can play the Void Callers, and we're probably all set. Now, Knife Juggler, that's a card that I've not seen for quite some time. And that brings back memories. Some happy memories when the juggles hit, and some sad memories when they go face and don't hit the minions. So based on the cards that he's playing, yeah, this is Zulok. This is a pure Zulok. Whereas my deck, which does have a good selection of 1-drops, has an early Zoo start, but then sequences into some slightly more expensive demons in the mid to late game. And going into this matchup, it was quite interesting to see, you know, which of our decks would have the advantage. Would the pure Zulok have the advantage with its ability to play more cheap things over the course of the game and to go wider on the board perhaps? Or would I have the advantage with my slightly more expensive demons as we head into the mid to late game? Nerubian Egg is a card that can give you a significant board advantage if you can pop the egg. But if you have no activators to pop the egg, it's a dead card. So we're going to find out very shortly, does he have a way of popping the egg? But even if he does, I have taunted up my Void Caller. The reason being, we have a chance of getting that Doomguard out onto the board. And we're getting close to turn 10, so Blood Reaver Gul'dan will soon be a thing for us. Well, there's the PO. Wow! He plays Shadow Flame in his deck. Fascinating.
Don't worry, love.
So, we can clear the board here. And that gives us the advantage. Our minions are buffed up with that +1/+1 effect, which is going to make trades into his minions feel much better. Like, for example, you know, my, I mean, okay, he's buffed it up now, but my 4/5 Void Caller would have traded in very nicely into a 2/4 Imp Gang Boss. So that buff effect is significant. Does mean an awful lot. Defender of Argus, once again, giving him his Wall of Taunts. It's a very good card. But doesn't really matter. Really doesn't matter. 6/6 Lotheb there is excellent for us. And it's pretty much over now. There's nothing he can do. I wouldn't be surprised to see a concede at this juncture, although he can get a favourable trade there, a good trade against the Doomguard. He may be thinking whether or not to tap. That could be the question that's going through his head. I mean, his health total looks semi-respectable at this point, but I do have a lot of attack power on the board, so tapping may not be the best thing to do here. But then what do? If you're a Zulok, you have to tap. You rely on going wide on that board, on filling that board. Well, maybe he's quit. Maybe it's a rage quit. I get that a lot. And there it is. There's the Rage Quit. Oh, hello. A 10-8 Mal'Ganis. I'm going to drag this out. Oh, just so I can get my... just so I can get my demons out there. Now, those demons that have come back to life, there's only one imp. A 1/1 imp. Getting 2 Void Callers back, though, is not great, I guess. Sorry, not Void Callers, Void Walkers. But, it's still something, right? Okay. So, this slightly faster Zoo-style Demonlock deck, what do I think about it? Well, once I get over my confusion between Void Walkers and Void Callers, it's a fun deck. I like the Zoo start. I love Prince Keleseth in this deck. I think he does a really good job of just buffing your hand and, your deck. And then buffing your deck with that +1/+1 effect, I think just does so much more in the mid to late game in terms of getting good trades, or just establishing good damage on the board. So yeah, Prince Keleseth to me is an MVP card in this deck. My issue, of course, is with Imp Gang Boss. Getting those 1/1 imps back to life, but especially if you've played 2 Imp Gang Bosses in the course of the game and they've summoned a multitude of imps. Getting those all back to life with Blood River Gul'dan is just not a good thing. I mean, in some situations, having those imps back can be good if you then draw into Mal'Ganis, and then of course those imps all get buffed. It's fine. So there are situations where I think it can work out, but on the whole, not a fan of Imp Gang Boss. But I am a fan of this style of deck. So for those of you that have watched this video and are interested in this deck, maybe you could give me some recommendations on what we can replace Imp Gang Boss with. Are there any other demons that cost 3 that are worth putting in? Of course, we can't have other 2-cost cards in this deck because of Prince Keleseth, so maybe there are other 1-drops that I should be putting in to replace Imp Gang Boss. So if you've got any thoughts, please do leave them in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe, and I will see you all again very soon for more fun on Wild Mode.